Johnny Williams here, and this is the Outlaw Poet Podcast. And we did it. We did it. We made our goal, 500 subscribers. So everybody who is subscribed, everybody who's been commenting, checking my stuff out, thank you so much. Thank you. Next goal is 1,000 subscribers. We're sitting at 524 right now, and I know we can get to 1,000 soon. So if you're not subscribed, just do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. You want to support further? Really, all I'm asking is go listen to my tunes, listen to the podcast, share them if you really like them. It's free. Check out last podcast, which was a really awesome podcast. We had a guest on by the name of John Wheeler. He's a singer-songwriter and guitar player from Austin, Texas, and he's phenomenal. One of the best guitar players of our generation, in my opinion. Super cool. Go check that out. We learned about him in the last podcast. Last podcast, we also celebrated 1 year of Outlaw Poet EP. That was my first release, all original songs. All over the board, it got 54,000 plus streams, so I'm really proud of that. And if you haven't heard it, go check it out. There's 4 songs. You can comment, let me know what your favorite one of those is, and I would really appreciate that. But today, we got something super cool, super exciting. A singer from Monroe, Louisiana. You may know her from TikTok. You may know her from American Idol. She goes by the name of Clara Rae, and she has a huge voice for such a little lady. She's got that southern drawl. She's got a great voice, stands out, sticks out, and it's huge. It's a huge voice, and she's really phenomenal. Today we're going to learn about her and her life and her journey so far and where you can support her. So we're going to get right into it. This is Clara Rae. Hey, Clara. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, Johnny, thanks for having me.
How's it going?
It's going
How's the movie still going?
It's great. We kind of finally are getting the boxes out of the apartment, and that feels really nice. And kind of getting settled, getting into a rhythm of things, it feels good. Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, I see that the wall behind you looks pretty nice. So you're pretty good at decorating. Got the whole thing pretty much decorated, ready to live in, or what?
Somewhat. We got this wall going. That's a project Zane and I just, you pop open a bottle of wine and hang out and the wall with all of your things.
So you've actually been living in Nashville for quite some time, or is this a new apartment, or
This is a new move. We just got here like 2 weeks and I think 2.5 weeks. Yeah, as of last Thursday, it would be 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Into the city. So
Yeah,
you're originally from Monroe, Louisiana.
I am.
What is that like? What's life like in Monroe?
That's awesome. I loved growing up in Monroe. It's got a really cool community. It's really humid. There's lots of rivers and lakes, and so there's all kinds of sporting events going on all the time. Yeah, Monroe is fantastic. It'll always be home. It's something I always think fondly on. It's where I grew up. It's where I played sports. It's where I sang in choir. It's where I've played 700 plus shows. I can't complain. Monroe is the best.
Yeah, well, so I'm from Minnesota, and some questions like what is the gator situation like? I saw on a TikTok you had posted there was a gator swimming through the river in your backyard. I was like, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, so I got married about a year and a half ago, and we moved out to Rayville, Louisiana, which is about 30 minutes east of Monroe. And we moved on to the Beth River, which Monroe, Rayville, it's all right around there. There's thousands of gators. I mean, it's just crazy. They're all over the place. And the cool part about where we were is that we were on about 8 acres, but we were surrounded by thousands and thousands of acres of hunting land. And so there's a lake on one side of the woods, and then the river comes through right in the middle of it. And so sometimes if you're hunting in the woods, you'll see a gator walking from the lake to the river, which is crazy to think about. So, yeah. And they're pretty skittish. They really don't mess with you too much unless it's I want to say May through July, which is mating and nesting season, is when they're most aggressive. But for the most part, they're pretty chill, pretty laid back.
Not as scary as they seem, huh?
Yeah.
So earlier we were talking, you were telling me how about you guys got the best food around. So what type of foods are different down from where you come from?
Yeah, it's like Cajun Creole, home cooking, soul food. It's delicious. Lots of crawfish.
What is a classic Cajun meal? Like what does that look like sitting down at dinner?
Growing up, we didn't have a whole lot. Like we just were, not we were well off in the sense that like my parents worked really, really hard to provide for us, but like we had lots of like jambalaya, we had gumbo. Um, if we had a good work week, if my folks did, we would get to go like boil crawfish or something like that would be fun. Um,
That's fun.
Very typical like Louisiana foods, lots of red beans and rice. Uh,
Okay.
yeah, I don't know, it's good.
Sounds like a good tasty meal.
Always, yeah, yeah.
Jambalaya. So what exactly is that? Is that jambalaya is more like a thick
Rice. It's a rice-based dish. It's kind of like usually the way my mom made it was like, you'd have the Holy Trinity, which was, your your onions, your peppers, and your celery, and that's like all chopped up, and you saute that, and you add your broth, whatever broth you can afford, and then you add your rice and your cooked chicken and sausage, and if you're feeling fancy, you could throw shrimp in there, I guess. But
Okay.
it,
Right on.
delicious, yeah, yeah.
Does
Have that
sound
with coleslaw. It's really good.
good. Okay. So
Hot.
then you come from Monroe, Louisiana, and the other half of your family comes from Arkansas.
Yeah.
So would you say you spend most of your time in Louisiana and then going up to visit Arkansas? And how different are those places from each other?
Yeah, yeah, they're pretty similar, honestly, because my mom grew up about 3 hours north of where I grew up. And most of her family resides there. Like, we have family all over the US, like up in Idaho. We have some in Nashville, some in Austin. But the majority of my mom's, like, immediate family is in southern central Arkansas. And so, I don't know, it's been like go up there 2 to 3 times a year just to see my grandparents, see some cousins for usually like holidays and stuff like that. And I'm actually there more now just because I'll play within about an hour of them just doing a show over there. And it's like, well, hell, I'm this close. Go see my grandmother, give her a hug and a kiss, and make my way
Right.
back to wherever I need to be. But it's cool. It's
Right.
really comparable. It's a great community. It's very family and faith oriented, which is cool. So it's just a bunch of good people, and yeah, I love it over there. Both places are awesome.
And you come from a big family, so you have six kids altogether
Yeah,
in your
so I've
family?
got 5 siblings. So
Okay. Where do you fall in the line of oldest to youngest?
I'm the second oldest, and my older sister, and I are a year apart. And then my mom actually went to pharmacy school right after I was born, and so there's a 7 year gap between me and my next brother. And they are all, and then I've got 3 brothers. They're all a year apart, or a year and a half apart. And then my youngest sister, she's 4 years younger than my youngest brother. And
They're pretty young. They're rugrats running around.
yeah, yeah, she's my youngest sibling's 9 right now, and she's awesome, man. She's cool. She's totally her own person. She's different parents too. Like as an older sibling, you see your parents are just like totally different people than when they were raising my sister Maddie and I, than how they're raising like all of my significantly younger siblings.
Not fair. They're strict. I actually have the same exact situation. My
Yeah,
parents have kids, and I'm the second oldest, and you just watch them how different it is with the young ones. It's like, oh man,
it's crazy,
where,
right? It's
where were
crazy.
y'all at when I was around?
That's it. They start acting up. You're like, hey, are you gonna hear that, or are you just gonna let her talk to you like that?
I got busy. I got something
Yeah, they're
else.
like, oh, she's fine. She's just doing her own thing.
So are all everybody in your family musical, or what's
Yeah,
that?
to an extent. Like, so we all grew up in the same church and school choir, and my siblings had the same choir director that I grew up with, and all of my brothers, no, 2 of my brothers and my youngest sister all take piano, and one brother plays drums and bass as well. Then my sister plays piano and ukulele, and
That's all.
that's awesome. They're great too. They're really
So
talented.
that musical part of your family that comes from your parents, or that comes from your grandparents? Where does that come for you guys?
Yeah, I guess somewhat. Like my grandfather was always, my paternal grandfather always like encouraged us in the arts, whether it was performing. Like we did a lot of theater as kids, or we would put on skits. We'd have to write screenplays and then like put on shows for my grandparents. And then he pushed us when we started learning musical instruments, piano, violin, or things like that. It was something that he always like encouraged us at, and would give us pieces to work on. So next time we'd see him, we'd have to play him.
So
Like,
what were some of the pieces?
man, honestly, I try to think. I've tried to remember some. They would always be like, it would be so ranging from like the supplemental hymnal, like for church, which was like hymns like the Son of God goes forth to war, or things from like that up until like House of the Rising Sun, by the Animals, like, and like having your own version or variation of it depending on the sheet music that he provided us with. And it's fun, it's cool. Thinking back, it's a lot cooler than it was as a kid, because it was like getting homework from your grandfather. You're like, man, I don't want to go spend my time learning a musical piece when I just want to hang out. But thinking back, I'm really thankful for it, because it made us practice, and that's what you need to do. You need to practice, and yeah,
Totally.
it's cool.
Yeah, that's awesome, and that explains a lot why y'all are so musical.
Yeah, they're great. We've got good folks. Our parents also are like super encouraging, which helps. Like, I remember, so I got my first guitar, I was 8, from my dad, and it was like immediately he taught me a few chords and just was so excited about it. And I started booking shows at like 16 or 17. And like, for the most part, if I was playing locally, especially those early shows, both of my parents were there every single time. And it's cool. Like, that's really cool, because I was playing a lot. Like, I was probably playing 4 or 5 nights a week, and my parents were at every single show. They were like, we can't really afford this anymore because we can't eat out all the time, or come pay for all these shows. We have all these kids, but we
Yeah.
love you. We appreciate all that you're doing.
Oh, that's really
Um,
sweet.
It's
That makes
cool.
it a lot more worth it when you got that support system.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, absolutely. I mean, you need people to believe in you, which sounds so cheesy. You need people to believe in you, though, so you can believe in yourself, like to just have the confidence to do what you're doing. And my folks have always been that and continue to be that, which is cool.
That is cool. Well, we believe in you here in Minnesota too, Clara Rae. We're excited to see what you're gonna do with yourself, and it seems like you got some really cool things going on. But
Thank you.
when you were say growing up with your family, who were some of the biggest musical influences that you listened to, like on the radio, or the difference between your parents and your grandparents, and then what your kids listened to?
Yeah. I guess, like, personally, I was always into, 'cause I'm one of 6 kids. I always kind of just listened to whatever was on, just because, you don't get to be too picky when you're just like one of many, which is cool. I never really was too picky. I liked hanging out with everybody. So I listened to a lot of stuff that like my parents listened to. My mom loved like 90s pop rock, because that's pretty much her time and decade where she was in her teens, and loved to listen to that kind of stuff. And my dad loved like more folksy Americana. He loved like Mumford and Sons and the Lumineers and the Abbott Brothers and things like that. And Johnny Cash. My grandfather and my dad both loved Johnny Cash. And so listen to just a lot of that stuff, and the classics like the Beatles. That was something my grandfather loved. It would be like, listen, pay attention to this mix or the production style or what they did here. And so that long term was a lot more beneficial than I ever really realized. Even to like this year, it's like you really think about it, and like being able to pick apart a production is super crucial. Like when you're recording your own stuff, as I'm sure uh, you have to be able to hear each individual instrument and see what fits and where you need to add and take off. And that's something I'm still working and learning on. But yeah, I was
A
kind of
really
listening.
cool a really cool thing about music is the artistry and how each thing it puts together to play the story. So I totally get what you're saying.
Yeah,
And each artist has their own way of doing that. And yeah, the Beatles from the Lumineers, they're different in a lot of ways, but in a lot of ways they're kind of similar. And
yeah,
definitely being able to hear that and break that down is a skill it's a musician skill, you know, like you have to be able to understand it and appreciate it. And a lot of people just don't, I don't think, understand how much goes into a song, and especially how much goes into a production. Like
Yeah.
just singing a song with your instrument and then recording a whole
Yeah.
song is so different.
Yeah. And that's what's so beautiful about it is it's like people listen to it and they're like, I love this, but I don't know why I love this. And then being able to like pick apart something that's great or beautiful and saying this is why it is great and beautiful is really cool. Like just being able to, just like seeing a car, you're like, this car drives great. I don't know how it drives great, but somebody like put it together and there's all these bells and whistles that went into it. It's like, and it's a craftsmanship of sorts. Like,
Totally.
yeah.
It's your art. And, you know, if, is it your story or, you know, someone else's story? It's
Yeah.
definitely. So, do you remember what songs you learned on guitar? What your first songs were when you were 8 years old and you got your guitar? You said you learned a few chords, but what were some of the songs you liked to play right away when you got your
Yeah.
guitar?
The first song, so my dad taught me a few chords and kind of like leading up to teaching me songs. And so the first night, it was Christmas of 2009. And he taught me the doxology, um, which is, praise God from whom all blessings flow. And the second song I learned was "Rock Me Mama Like a Wagon Wheel," and so I played both of those. And yeah, you still play Wagon Wheel at a gig because someone's like,
Right? Yeah.
"You know
Everybody.
Wagon Wheel?" And, yeah, I can play that.
Not gonna lie, that was like one of the first songs I learned too, Wagon
Yeah, you
Wheel.
have to. It's a rite of passage, and so
Yeah, exactly. Especially in the folk world. See, my history with that song is I grew up on like a bluegrass kind of background, and I remember the first bluegrass festival I went to. This was before Darius Rucker released it.
yeah,
Everybody was playing Wagon Wheel.
yeah,
Everybody was playing. Everybody loved it. Then I went back a couple years later after Darius Rucker had released it. I was like, "Yeah, learn Wagon Wheel. I'm ready to play with y'all." Everyone's like, "No one listens to Wagon Wheel anymore because it's
some of
country pop song. No, we can't play it." So
yeah,
my heart was broken. It's like, I still love it,
man, it works so hard.
but that's okay. What you gonna do?
That's it. That's
So,
it.
how much did your learning from that first song you learned from as an older kid in the house? What changed? You know, where did you put your time into learning music? Was it mostly on guitar? Was it on singing, piano, or what was
Yeah.
that like for you?
I mean, I would love to say that I just like cracked the whip and worked my tail off as like a young, elementary, middle school kid, but I was mostly like forced into like choir and piano as a kid. It just wasn't something I was like super passionate about because it like took away from, I've always been a huge people person, and it took away from like hanging out with friends or any like downtime, or like, you're a kid watching TV was the best thing ever. So it's like, man, I don't want to practice piano. I want to go watch TV. That's so much more enjoyable. And but I think when I was like 16, 15 or 16, I mean, and I played guitar. You play what you know, and then you don't really progress. You kind of just learn what you learn, and then you play that. And to a fault, I'm kind of like that today. I try to practice. I'm much more diligent about practicing as an adult as I was as a kid. But yeah, I took a few guitar lessons in high school, but I always did choir. I was always part of at least one choir, if not multiple at a time, and then was doing some form of theater or just showmanship. We were doing all kinds of things, and yeah. So I guess I've always been singing, and I grew up very religious. I still am, and was in church every Sunday, and so you'd sing 6 days a week in choir practice, and then you'd go to church and you'd sing there too. And so I've
So
always,
you were
yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
no, no. So like, what kind of songs? Like, so what kind of church did you go to back then? Like, what was it like? What is the choir life like? It's
Yeah,
obviously a big part of your musical history, and you kind of talk about it a lot.
yeah.
What was that life like? What did you take from choir? Like, what are the most important things?
So choir was more separate from church. Church was like, I mean, we did choir in church, but it was always like periodically, like seasonally kind of thing.
Oh,
For,
sure, like for a Christmas concert or
yeah,
something like.
but like everybody sings in my church, and so it's very traditional. We did lots of like old hymns, and very traditional, like you know most like 19th century, 18th century hymns, and yeah, it was great. And then choir was we learned from the Kodai method. That's how I first learned how to is a generous term, mostly learned how to read music. And I grew
What is,
up,
what is the Kodai method?
it's just a form of learning how to read music. It's just a particular way of teaching it. And so I'm trying to recall exactly kind of how we went about it, but you like learn solfege and finding a note just by hearing it, and then, you know, repeating
Interesting.
it, I guess. Yeah, and then singing it. And so we learned through that. And so most of those pieces were, we would do a lot of Bach, we would do a lot of German, a lot of French pieces. It would just kind of depend on our choir director, which was Jared Ritchie. And he was, gosh, he was so influential, just like in me pursuing music, just because it was something that I always did from second grade religiously up to like my sophomore year of college. And so, yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, Jared Ritchie was super influential in my life and to me pursuing music. And yeah, I think I only ever did my first choir solo I was my senior year in high school, and I was so nervous. I think I was 18, and it wasn't, and I played live before plenty of times, like secular music, but it was like the fact that it was like this French piece, and I always played live in like bars and stuff like that. And then I was playing it, but it was always strangers. And then I was playing in front of my friends and my family, and that was so embarrassing for some reason. And
Yeah, it's harder to play with people you know. I always thought
yeah,
when there's a bunch of people there that you know that are watching, it's like, oh, it
yeah,
actually these people I'll have to talk to again. You know.
yeah, man, I have to see them after this. Like, if
Yeah.
it's bad, it's bad.
Yeah, it's something about the setting, like the real formal setting, is intense, and
Yeah,
a lot of people are there, and they're especially to listen to what you got going on, not necessarily a bar where, like a venue like that, where people are they're excited for the music, but they're there to hang out with their friends, or they're there to drink or whatever, you know. And you always sound a little better when they're drinking too, right?
yeah, yeah. The more you drink, the better I sound.
Yeah, exactly.
Tried and true fact.
So what kind of church did you go to growing up?
I went to a Reformed Presbyterian church, and
Okay.
yeah, that's just what's my background. I'm very thankful for it. I believe in the Bible. I believe the Bible is the Word of God, and I believe that everything it says is the absolute truth. And I try to live my life that way as best as my ability, and repent when I don't. And so, yeah, those are my beliefs. It's pretty simple like that. Yeah,
Yeah, you said it perfect. That's the same what we believe up here.
it's amazing.
So you had met your husband Zane in church.
Yeah.
Was it at the church that you had gone to, or
It
how
was
did you meet?
at a sister church in Nacogdoches, Texas, and that's where went, like grew up going. And he's from Texas, um,
Okay.
and he sings Texas country music and stuff like that. He's great. And we met, gosh, I think we were both like 15 or 16.
Oh wow.
I don't know, it was cool. We were just buddies. I don't know, and not even like we were just kind of friends of friends. And I always thought he was really cute, and he says the same, but we're married now, so I guess he has to say that. And
So that's almost a decade. When did you guys get married?
we got married March of 2024, so just about a year and a half ago.
Oh, that's so exciting. Congratulations.
We love it, man.
Say-
It's cool.
How would you say being married has benefited your life?
Oh, in every way. I think you get so much confidence when you're with the right person, just in your own ability and like what you're doing. And he's so encouraging. He's my biggest supporter, and he's also so level-headed. And I'm not. I'm very like, let's, I could pick up and leave anytime in the sense, not my marriage, but just in the sense of like, I want to, let's go to North Carolina this week. I'd love to like see the beach. I think that'd be so much fun. And he's like, well, maybe we should plan a little bit better. I'm like, nah, I threw a swimsuit in the car. It's going to be awesome. We're going to have a great time. We'll figure out the rest when we get there. And, he's so, let's like think about this. Let's plan a trip. We'll budget for it. It's going to be great. And it's that all the time in the best way. And he always finds a way where we could still do this, delusional dream of mine, but also in a practical way. And, it's a nice balance. He really he's so calm and quiet, and I'm so not, and it's a cool balance, I think. And we get along so well. He's just my best buddy. I don't know. We hang out. We just have a great time, and we want all the
That's
same things. That helps.
yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
That's so. How would you say being married to Zane has helped you in your professional life?
Oh yeah. Well, so Zane plays bass in my band, which is cool. Well, my main band, we play right now. We're in a spot where we're playing with lots of different bands, just because locationally it's what's convenient, and you meet a lot of people on the road and you try new things. Um, but for my like original band, the one I started like 4 years ago, Zane was initially rhythm guitar, but then we got a rhythm guitarist and he was playing bass, and he's great. And it's something he did in high school and college. And yeah, so that was just convenient because once we got married, it was free, which is nice because it all goes to the same pot, so
Hey,
save me some money. So,
is that his instrument of choice? Is the bass?
I think it is now. Initially, it was not. Initially, he wanted to be a guitar player, uh,
Okay.
but he's more of a rhythm guitar player. He's great. He knows a few licks, but just to like for show wise, he was a rhythm guitar, and for like who the guys that we had playing, it was just practical application. And but he's a phenomenal bass player, and he's gotten so much. He's such a driven person in the sense that it's like you give him a task and he's going to do it to the best of his ability every time. And so I was like, man, I just need a bass player. And he's like, okay. And he was good at bass, but now he's great at bass, and he can play any piece that I put in front of him. And which is cool. Like, I mean, we give him like Queen and Beatles, and he's learning a bunch of like 21 Pilots things right now, which is all kinds of crazy work, and he loves it, man. He has such a good time, and yeah, he's great, man.
That's awesome. I'm
Yeah,
sure, like, he seems like a good. The little I've seen of like your posts, and it's like people are kind of like that. You can just tell that they're good musicians, and like
yeah,
a smart musician, like they pick up the difference between rhythm guitar and bass guitar pretty quick. I feel like
yeah,
I've seen the type, and like they're pretty similar in some ways, the rhythm guitar and the bass, because they're both the rhythm of the song. They're both
right.
kind of punch, and that's awesome though. That must be a blast playing together,
Oh,
practicing it.
mm,
Uh,
yeah,
I actually just saw this video last night of Jason Isbell talking about he played this cover of "Cover Me Up," and his wife was right next to him, and she was
yeah.
playing it on the violin, and he told the
Oh, yeah,
story. When I wrote this song, he said he went to one side of the house and his wife went to the other side of the house because they both were musicians and they both were writing albums, and
yeah.
their goal was they had to write the song by the end of the day, and then they had to come and play it for each other. And then he said that he wrote "Cover Me Up" and he played it for her, and he's like, if she doesn't like it, they weren't married at the time, I don't think. And then he said, if it's not, she doesn't like it, then I guess she's not the one. And then he's like, luckily she loved it. Here we are, 20. I'm like, dang, that must be a blast.
Yeah, that is cool. That's really fun. I didn't know. I didn't realize his wife was a musician as well. That's really cool.
Yeah, well, they, I just found that out last night too, but
Yeah,
he's one of my favorites these days. But let's
man.
switch topics on, what are some of your guitars as a musician and a guitar player? That's kind of a
Yeah,
statement of your identity almost. So can you
yeah.
tell me a little bit about your guitars and which one is kind of your main one or
Sure. I'm trying to think. So I started with a baby Taylor. So it's just like a half body Taylor guitar. That's what I grew up playing. When I started playing live, I moved to a bigger Taylor. I bought myself my first real adult Taylor guitar on Facebook Marketplace. I think it was like $800 or something like that.
Nice.
Yeah, started playing that. It was great. And it still was not like boomy enough for when we were doing bigger events. And so I started playing my dad's Takamine, which is super
Oh,
boomy, very bassy. And
sweet.
man, it is hard on the fingers, though, I'll say, especially like I'm a girl, so I have girl hands, and so it's very wide neck. It's almost like a classical, like how wide and far apart the strings are, but then it has those not steel strings, but it's those
Right.
really,
Or
yeah.
what?
So it's just really thick, and every couple of weeks you have to like rip off the calluses just because they get so deep, and it would just
Yeah,
mute the string. It would just
that's
indent.
more of like a big. That's more of a big guitar, a big
Yeah,
body, big strings, big everything.
yeah. And I
I've.
played for years. I loved it, and
I think most of
yeah,
the time
sorry,
I'm playing one of your Taylor guitars. I,
yeah.
what's the one that's got the signature on it?
That's I've got a couple. I've got a Taylor that's got Lainey Wilson's signature on it,
Okay.
and
It's like the blue circle around the sound hole, like the light blue.
that's what I play now. So I'm totally sponsored by Zager now, and Zager is and not and they do pay me to say this, but they don't have to because it's awesome. Zager is by far the best. Like it's a great learning guitar, but then also like everyday use. It's they've got these like pillow soft strings. So if you're just playing all the time, it's really soft on your fingertips. You don't build up too much of a callus where it mutes the string. And also something that's really cool is that the case they have, it shows you the humidity levels. So
Wow.
you can make sure that your guitar is not drying out too much and the bridge will pull up because when you're banging on a guitar all day and it's dry, that bridge is almost always going to pull up. It's always going to be moving. The wood is drying up. So you want to make sure your guitar is staying moist enough when it's in its case. And that's something that Zager is super duper keen on, which is cool. And it's just a beautiful guitar. There's so much craftsmanship that goes into Zager guitars. It's the most beautiful guitar I've ever owned, and I love it. It's great, and I've got a few Ibanez's somewhere, but Taylor and Zager are like my personal top two. I love playing, and yeah, wouldn't trade it for anything. And
Yeah.
well, maybe a Gibson, but like if
Yeah.
if it was being offered, like,
What type of guitar does Zane play?
I'm having trouble
oh
connecting to the
gosh,
internet. It
sorry.
looks like an issue with the router and Echo device, so
Alexa,
try restarting them.
I'm so
Unplug
sorry.
both of them,
Sorry.
then plug the router back in. Wait 30 seconds.
Brought to you by Zager Guitars.
Yeah,
Connected to
apparently.
the internet. Plug in the Echo device.
Oh my gosh, let me just, okay, I'm so sorry.
No worries.
Um,
So you think Gibsons, is that kind of what a lot of people who you play with play? They kind of play the Gibson guitars or what?
yeah. So a lot of my co-writes play Gibsons, and that Gibson is just like top dog. That's that $20,000 guitar that you'll never have, but you love to look at. And it's things that people don't play, but then it's really cool when you meet people that do play them because they're like, they just don't care how much it costs. They were just like, that's a great guitar. I love playing it. Like, what's the point of having a guitar if you're not going to play it? And
Yeah, that's an expensive guitar. So
yeah,
you like kind of the where I grew up, Martin was the top. Like most people that were good guitarists that I knew, they played the Martin guitars.
yeah.
You don't see a whole lot of those down in the South, huh?
No, oh, I know a bunch of folks that do play Martin. I can't say I've never owned a Martin. I've played a couple, and I like them. It's a beautiful guitar, great craftsmanship, and they've always got great tone. I've noticed, which is I feel like and like I'm not trying to be controversial at all, but I find that Taylor and Martin are usually pretty comparable, like tone wise, and at least in my own experience. And I do not have a lot of long term experience with Martin, so I guess I really can't speak on that too much, but the ones that I have played,
Martin is a lot more like based towards like finger picking style and like flat
yeah,
picking and like thumb picks and stuff.
yeah.
Like a lot of like the bluegrass community, the people that are really picking it up, they play a lot of the Martins, at least where I come from, and
Is
kind of.
that what you're playing these days?
Yep,
Yeah.
last summer I my Martin, I traded in some guitars and some bunch of stuff, and oh man, I was really excited to get it. I traded it all in and I got a Taylor,
Yeah.
and I love that guitar. It's a really cool black Taylor. Like
Yeah. That is
I don't remember
sick.
what it was, but then within like a week, the front of it started like peeling off and like bubbling up, and I was like,
Yeah.
because I was the new guitar, and it's an expensive guitar and an investment, so it was a lot of thought went into it, and I prayed about it, and then when the Taylor started bubbling up, I was like, oh, that's God's sign to get a Martin. So I took it back and
Yeah.
upgraded it even a little more and got the Martin that I really wanted, and I play it a lot. I'm really
That's
excited.
yeah, yeah, that's killer. When was that? When did you get the Martin?
That was maybe a year and a half ago, a little over a year ago. I got it, and now that I got the nicer guitar, it's like you got to practice now every day.
Yeah.
Got to get better. Got to
But I
improve.
spent the money. I gotta. Yeah, I totally get that. Yeah,
Like you got the tool, now you got to use it, man.
exactly, exactly.
But it's been great, and I'm recording some new projects with it, and it sounds great on the being recorded. It sounds great at my live performances, so I've been really happy with it.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's
But
really
that's
cool.
another type of brand that they've got, so many levels. They've got
Yeah,
ones like most Martin players, they'll have like a $3,000 guitar to a $10,000 guitar. It's like, geez.
yeah.
But who are some of your musical influences right now in your life?
Mm, that's a great question. Different artists for like different reasons. Like obviously I love Stapleton. He's got this like gorgeous soulful sound, and I love the way he writes melodies that complement his vocals, and that's something that I'm really trying to work on myself when I'm writing. I love everything that like Etta James, Amy Winehouse, that kind of like soulful production that's big and different, and has this really cool down bridge. So I love stuff like that right now, like things that are different in the sense that you can't tell that it's the same song almost when it drops off and comes back in, and I love that kind of production style that's a little all over the place. It's like it's an art piece of art by itself. Yeah, I don't know. I've been really influenced by them lately. Yeah, but I love a lot of the newer country guys, as in like Tyler Childers. His new album is freaking awesome. The mixes and production is like super cool. I love the inflection that he puts on certain words are just, they have so much character in them. And so I love that. I love hearing like the delivery of these lyrics that he wrote, and then learning the story behind it later and why he puts certain inflections on different things is really cool. So yeah.
Definitely, those are definitely great artists. The first three you said, they're all kind of very big voices and
Yeah.
powerful voices with cool backups, but everything's kind of based around their vocals, and I feel like that's kind of maybe your style a little bit too. You've got such a big voice and so much character that it's like if the music isn't pushing your voice, then something's not going right.
Yeah, and I've never been claimed to be like a great guitar player. I've always been, just kind of get through a song on guitar, but like singing is my passion. It has been like my whole life. And I love getting to, write and work on instruments, but when it comes to like doing it live
Priority.
or in the studio, I just can't compete to, some of these musicians are incredible, and I'm just thankful to be in the same room.
Sure. Well, it's not about competing. It's about performing your art. Simple
Yeah.
chords can go a long way, and but you do have a great voice, and the world seems to really love it.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, but what has, for instance, in Monroe, what is the local music scene like, and what local music has influenced you in your style?
Yeah, local music scene in Monroe is booming. Like it is awesome. There's tons of music venues and events that are always going on. City events in like Monroe, West Monroe area are, I mean, there's probably a festival of sorts every weekend. There's probably 30 to 40 venues that all have live music going at the same time. I mean, it's booming and it's a great scene. Like the community of musicians there are super cool and very diverse. Lots of country, lots of pop, soul, there's R&B, there's hip hop, there's so many cool things. There's rock, there's heavy metal. Like it's just so much diversity and cool. Like I feel like you gather so much from your friends if you're writing with them, which most of the musicians in North Louisiana are just awesome, and they all want to write and they all want to create something new and cool. And so I guess for me, like I gather out of it usually when I'm working like with individual artists, you kind of pick up their own style, you pick up their inflections or what makes them unique, which eventually, makes, not that you necessarily emulate exact mirror what they're doing, but you kind of like take away
Yeah.
your own style, their style. Yeah, I think we all gather things from each other, and yeah, it's awesome. It's a booming scene, and if you ever want to play down there, let me know because there's dozens of venues that just.
My wife really wants to go check out Louisiana. It's on
Hey,
the
you
bucket
have to.
go.
Yeah.
We were thinking more. Well, she wants to go see New Orleans. So how different would you say the music scene is from where you kind of are between like New Orleans?
Yeah.
A lot of horn stuff still, or
Yeah, New Orleans is definitely more like Zydeco or like blues and soul and jazz in the best way. Like it's killer. And there's lots of that in North Louisiana. But at the end of, we have like, there's blues nights every Thursday nights in North Louisiana. But, you go down to New Orleans and it's blues and jazz and Zydeco is every night. And it's on every single corner. And it's a different world down there in the best way. Like it's so cool. I love being down in South Louisiana. It's just it's a whole different part of the country in the best way.
I would love to hear you do like a blues set. Get Zane on some really bluesy guitar and just go out there and Etta James it. I mean, even some of those, even like Chris Stapleton has like a really big element of like, I kind of hear the blues sometimes when he's singing. Just
Yeah, I think Stapleton is like soul. He sings soul music more than he does country. But there's not really a market for soul or blues right now. Like there's just not selling. And so I think they market him as country, but everyone loves soul and blues music. They hear him and they're like, this is great. And you're like, yeah, it's soul, baby. It's blues. It's
well, even like his original stuff with like the Steel Drivers back in the day, like that is like bluegrass blues, like soul, like what's this one song? 4 cold walls against my will. Yeah, what is the name of that song? I'm drawing a blank right now.
4 cold walls, maybe? No.
What'd you say?
4 cold walls? Like
No, it's If It Hadn't Been for Love. That's what it is. It's like Angel of the Night. It's just bluesy, like
so
nice.
good.
That's awesome. That's always seemed like a cool scene, and like never been there. Like
Yeah.
all from Louisiana is kind of what you see in the movies and kind of on TV and kind of that like that swampy, bluesy, Cajun feel. It's
magic.
magical, yeah.
There's like and not in a hippy dippy way, but there's like all kinds of weird voodoo cats down in like South Louisiana. And it's like it's got its own charm. Like it's cool. Like and a lot of them are just hustlers or whatever. But it's cool. It's mystique. It's mysterious, I guess. And it's like I don't know. It's like you're taking a little adventure down there. It's cool. I like it.
Oh, a different world, huh? The voodoo.
Yeah.
I haven't really seen much of that up here in the right north.
I would be wearisome of it, but yeah, there's definitely a lot of that down there. But
Keep that Bible on, keep it in the breast pocket.
brother,
I go.
yeah, I have it all on my side.
So what are some things you've been doing these days to help you and improve your singing and your playing?
I guess just doing it. I think I've gotten so much better just by having to, just out of
Yeah.
like repetition and like at the end of the day, practice, 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 practice. And we're in a position where it's like there's really not a ton of free hours in the day to practice. It's just you kind of like are practicing as you're playing, and and that's great too because you want to get better every single show. And I try to put my best foot forward and make it just a little bit better than the last show. Like figured something new out in different ways. And yeah, I don't know if I do a lot of things to take care of my voice, like, drink, way too much water and tea all the time, just because, you sing 5-6 days a week, you're like, I really should be
Yeah.
hydrating my vocals.
Dang,
Or just,
man.
yeah. And then I wish I had this great warm down routine, but I don't. And it's something I used to have, but it's one of those things you kind of get out of practice of, and you just get busy and or embarrassed. You're like behind stage, and there's like a bunch of like old guys back there, and you don't want to be like, it's stupid. So they're like,
Whatever, you gotta take
they're
care
like
of your
all passing a blunt back there, and you're like, la 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 la. They're like, it just looks silly. It's like,
No, you're a professional now.
yeah, well,
You got to take care of that voice. That's your moneymaker. You'd hate to have to stop what you're doing because of a vocal issue.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Ray Lamontagne, he was
Man,
going to be in August, but he canceled because he had throat surgery. I
yeah,
was not happy.
yeah, man, I've heard that's a fun show too.
I bet he's pretty much my favorite these days. Ray Lamontagne, he's the man.
His voice is so unique and a cool way. It's like, God, that's really cool rasp. Or just like, I don't know. It's
So
something
smooth,
about,
but yet so raspy, just
yeah.
one of a kind. I could talk about. Don't get me started. I could talk about him for
A
all
whole
day.
segment is just Ray LaMontagne. Just go. That'd be cool.
He's been a big inspiration for me and just his songwriting, and his first album, Trouble, is I think my favorite album of all time. Just from beginning to end, I can listen to that on repeat.
Yeah.
Listen to repeat.
So last week we talked about Outlaw Poet EP, and that was my first release. 4 songs, all originals, all kind of stories of my life. And if you haven't heard them yet, go check them out. They're 4 songs: Issues, One of a Kind, Broken, and Peace of Mind. All originals, all recorded in this house. Today we're going to talk about my 3 other releases since then. So since then I've released 3 other songs, 2 covers and 1 original. The first one I released after Outlaw Poet EP, was a song called Smooth. And that was written by Rob Thomas and Santana. It was originally written for Michael Bolton, but Michael Bolton either couldn't do it or didn't want to do it, and then Rob Thomas ended up singing it, and I'm so glad he did, because that was such a phenomenal song and such a huge, huge project. I remember growing up and listening to that song all the time. It was one of my favorites, and that's why I covered it. My version's a lot slower, kind of a little more gritty, a lot more acoustic-like. You can find that on all streaming services. Smooth by Johnny Williams. The second one I released, second cover, was a song called Jersey Giant. Jersey Giant was a song written by an artist named Tyler Childers. And I think he wrote it for Elle King, but it's an old song and it's got a cult following. A lot of people love this song, and some really great artists have covered it, and that's how it's mostly known, by covers. There's not like a version that Tyler Childers released on any platforms. You have to go to YouTube and you have to find it on there. But that song, I remember over a year ago, I did a cover of that song and posted it on all the socials or whatever. And I had a buddy, his name is Broderick, and he's a disc golfer. Very successful, really good. If you know anything about disc golf, YouTube, you know him. And he's a buddy of mine from a long time ago. We grew up in the same area, and he hit me up. He's like, hey man, will you do a cover of this song for me? And I'm going to put it into my videos. And that's what happened. And most of his videos end with Jersey Giant by me. So some people would reach out to me and they'd ask me to cover that song, and I always loved singing it. So I did. I covered it and I put it out there, and you can find that one on all streaming services too. My third release is a song that I wrote called I'll Be Mine. It's a fun song. It's the most upbeat song I have at this point. You know, I had a drummer from Minneapolis by the name of Nate Babs hop on it, and my buddy Gary Van Lewing from Canada. He did some of the bass and some of the other stuff, and I did all the guitar and the singing, and it's a really awesome song. I remember I wrote it. I was sitting beside my wood stove, and I was looking at the fire, and I was watching videos on my phone. And what happened was, I heard the song. I think it was Paul McCartney was talking about a song, and I couldn't quite understand what he was saying. I was like, what is he saying? Is he saying "I'll be mine"? I was like, I don't know. I don't even remember what it was. And I remember, So I took a shower that night. I was like, you know what? Well, actually, I found the video, and he said what the name of the song was, and he wasn't saying that. He wasn't saying "I'll be mine." I was like, you know what? That's a cool idea for a song. "I'll be mine." So when I hopped in the shower, I wrote that. I wrote "I'll be mine." I wrote the first verse and the chorus, and then it sat on the shelf for a long time. And the person who I interviewed today, Clara Rae, I had reached out, and this was before she was at American Idol, and I thought, we talked about kind of making a song, and then this, the second verse, I actually had wrote for her, and then she had gone to American Idol, so I ended up just having to do it by myself, and I wrote that second verse kind of from like a woman's perspective of like, oh, breakup, or, you know, people being bad, whatever, and that was, that's what I come up with. And I ended up really liking it, and it was a lot more upbeat than I wanted, than I had originally envisioned, but that's what happens, and "I'll be mine." The cover art is me fighting in a Golden Gloves tournament in 22. It's a shot of me, and I like it. I like all my cover art, so if y'all want to go check out the cover art, you can let me know which one you like best, too. So, those are the 3 songs that I have released since then. I have a few projects coming up, so y'all keep your eyes glued. Another thing I want to talk about today is one of the most influential musicians and songs that have been, I'll say, a part of my whole life, but especially the last year. So this last year, I've really been listening to a guy by the name of Ray Lamontagne. He's phenomenal. He is one of my biggest influences in music, and one of my favorite influences in music as well. He's a great singer. His voice is like no one else's. He's a great songwriter. I think really one of the greatest songwriters of our time. I thought I had known a lot of Ray Lamontagne songs, but he's got a lot more that I still have to learn about. And growing up, the first time I'd ever heard anything by Ray Lamontagne was actually from the Zac Brown album. The first album, he has a song by the name of Jolene. Then I love that song. Didn't know Ray Lamontagne existed at the time. And then I was going through YouTube, scrolling, and I just saw this man, this big bearded man, this serious looking guy, and it said Jolene by Ray Lamontagne, and I thought, you know, that's probably him covering a version of Dolly Parton's Jolene, so I checked it out. Then when I heard him sing it, and I heard that he was the Jolene from the Zac Brown album, I thought, wow, this guy's doing a great cover. Looked it up. He wrote it, and I was just, amazed. And that's my first introduction to Ray Lamontagne. I was blown away. So much better than the Zac Brown version. So much feeling, so much power. That's the type of singer that he is, and that's the type of singer that I strive to be. So, since then, that was probably 15 years ago, I've listened to a lot of Ray Lamontagne, and 10 of his songs are probably my top 100 favorite songs. Just incredible. But I had never gone to his album Trouble, this first album, debut album, and listened to it from the beginning to the end. Because I thought I just heard them all through radios or through whatever, and there's 2 songs that I didn't know. One was a song called Narrow Escape, which is really cool song. And one is a song called Hannah. And that song has become my favorite song of all time. Just a beautiful song. It came from his album Trouble, 2008. His debut album, which I think is one of the greatest albums of all time. Just seriously. If you haven't heard it, go listen to it. I'm a huge fan. Hannah, from the beginning to the end, I remember I was vacuuming and I had my headphones and I had to stop my vacuum and I had to listen. I was like, wow, this is phenomenal. Then I proceeded to listen to it, 1,000 times probably since then, and I learned how to play it on guitar. It's kind of, he's definitely got an interesting strumming patterns in a lot of his songs. So as like a musician covering his stuff, it's always kind of fun because you have to learn, you have to practice his patterns, and a dang B minor always gets me. He likes that one, at least in Hannah, it's in that song. So Monday I covered a version of Hannah, and you can go check it out, give it a listen, give it a like, go listen to Ray Lamontagne's version. Yeah, so hit that subscribe button. I hope you're liking the interview. Thanks for being here.
But so you've been playing shows for about a year or about a decade. So what is the evolutions of your show like from, say, what was your first show like?
I remember my first show. I think my first show was a private birthday party. And no. My first show was a Mexican restaurant. It was awesome because I was like 16, I was 17, and it was like a 3-hour set, and I got free margaritas, which when you're 17, you're like, this is awesome. I want to do this all the time. And I did. Yeah, it was great. It was so fun because like I had this incredible family and church community that just showed up and showed out. And so I think really a big part of like what made me be able to play gigs full time, which like that was 2021 is when I started playing gigs full time. And a big part of that was just like all of my friends and family showing up. And so venues would be like, well, this girl brings like 300 people. We should probably have her here because she's going to make our money back very quickly. And
yeah, okay.
It was awesome. Yeah, it was great.
That sounds like a great time.
It was fun. It was really, really cool. And I mean, obviously that slows down the more you do it, just because your friends are like, dude, I can't be out every single night.
Yeah, right.
We love you, but no. And that was a big part of me starting to like play in different states just so that it was
new crowd and new people.
Yeah. And you got to broaden your audience and your,
So what were those shows? Were those mostly like you and a guitar, or were they kind of a band, just you and Zane? Like what was it like? What is it like?
Just me and my guitar for years. I mean, I think, from like 17 to really, I think 20, I was like tail end of 20. It was like exclusively me and my guitar. Every now and then I would play with other bands, but for the most part, I mean, it was just acoustic sets. And then I put a band together at the tail end of 20. And so we've been playing together about 3.5 years, almost 4 years now. And I played with a bunch of bands since that first band, but I still play with them. Like we're playing this Friday together. And
So what does that band consist of?
so Zane is the bass player, and that's when we kind of like just started dating. And I was like, hey, you wanna? Well, actually, I didn't want. This is terrible. I didn't want Zane in my band because he was so humble, and he's like, I was like, man, I really need a bass player. And he goes, and like we'd been dating for a couple months, and he's like, I could play bass. And I was like, I need someone who can play the bass. And I was so rude. And like thinking back, I'm like, oh, so rude. And he's like, yeah, that's cool, whatever, And he came in and sat in at a practice with the guys that I've been playing with for like a couple weeks or so. And he was great. He was fantastic. He's just so humble. And
He's like, little do you know, I'm actually very good.
Yeah, right. And I was sitting there like, I feel like such an asshole. I'm like, oh man. I was like, sure, you play the bass. That's great for you. But no, he was great. He was so much better at bass than I was at like directing a band. And so, which was awesome. And we play with these cool guys, Chris Martinez and Matt Martinez, they're brothers. And then we added on Alex Maldonado just last year as a rhythm.
And what instruments are they playing?
So Chris Martinez is lead guitar, and he also plays band leader. So he does like, he puts together like the practices and the order of operations when we are practicing. And we typically follow him in a set. It was just at the time, it was not something I was super comfortable with doing. He's kind of stepped down from that role the last like year and a half or so. But so he does lead guitar. He's phenomenal. Great. He's a metal player, which is really funny. So we kind of have like a mix of like my blues, and then he does like kind of like a rock thing got going on, and then his brother Matt Martinez is on drums. Same thing, he's a metal rock player, and so we kind of have this mix of like rock, country, blues, which is kind of cool. We like it. Alex Maldonado is on rhythm guitar. I'm also on rhythm guitar sometimes, but for the most part I just sing, and then Zayd's on bass.
So you get to kind of like go to the guitar and just kind of sing sometimes, huh?
Sometimes the guitar is like really just a prop for me. It's more of like a it's
Sure, no, I get it.
you're like singing and you're like, I don't know what to do with my hands, so you just kind of like have a guitar is kind of convenient to have something to hold, or you turn it all the way down and you're just sitting there strumming random chords because you don't know the progression or you can't hear it. You're just worried about saying the right words. So like I've definitely done that plenty of times.
As a performer, I bet it's really fun to just kind of put the guitar down and just do your
Yeah,
thing.
run
And
around, lean on a fella and like singing at him or something like that. It's fun, and they're a great group of guys. They're like, besides Zane, they're like my brothers, and we all get along so well. And having that dynamic is huge. Like just having people you enjoy being around. It's cool.
so do they play with you when you go to other states and when you are in Nashville and stuff?
Yeah, sometimes it's so situational just because like we add on dates. Like we pretty much consistently through February have like 3 to 4 shows a week, and then we add on so many like as weeks progress. Like you'll casually add on a show like 2 days prior to it, and so things like that are just not practical for them to drive up from because they're all based in Louisiana. From Louisiana to like Missouri or Kentucky or
And they're
wherever.
all over the place, huh?
Yeah, so we'll get a different band to come play with us for things like that when we're
Okay.
yeah. And so like last weekend and they'll play with other bands too, and so it's kind of just like you take the gig and then you just see who's available for it. You're like, yeah, I've got enough buddies that play instruments, we can figure that out. And
Nice. And I'm sure that's only gonna get more being in Nashville and as your music career progresses and you meet more people.
yeah, absolutely.
So what would you say your favorite show of all time has been?
Oh, like oh man, I don't know. I love all of them pretty much. I have so much fun performing. Like that's where my passion is just being on a stage. Um, gosh, I guess I did Mardi Gras one year and they put me on a float and they put my name like draped across both sides of the float. And there was like, I think there was like 175,000 people there, like throughout the parade. And so that
Man,
was just, you felt like a rock star, you're there.
that
And
sounds like a blast.
oh, it was so fun. And it was a good time. I was there with Miss Louisiana at the time. And she was on the float. So we were just like hanging out and visiting. Then you'd hit a patch with like thousands of people and you're throwing beads, you're singing, a Zydeco, like Iko, 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 Iko Ande, or something like that, like some Zydeco song or that fit the thing, like down in Louisiana, pow, 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 or something like that, and that's
Up, I
fun.
bet. That
Yeah.
sounds like a blast.
And then
So,
opening, yeah, it was a good time. It was a good time.
no, opening for who?
Opening for like this past year, I get to open for, oh gosh, I totally lost my train of thought. I got to open for Tracy Lawrence and like Mark
Oh,
Chestnut. And
sweet.
that was sick. Yeah, it was such a good time. Or them Dirty Roses, that was a cool one.
Oh, I don't know who that is.
Oh, they have they have this song. It's called Cocaine and Whiskey, and well, there you go. They're rock stars, man. They're cool, and they're like, I don't know, that their crowd, their audience was just so much fun. They're totally the people that you just like jump out and like like crowd surf on, just because they were
That's
like
blast, yeah.
rockers. They were all about the like crazy, and I'm doing my singer songwriter set, and they're all like, "Yeah, it was awesome!" We're like, "Yeah, man, that's cool. Thanks." And so That was
That
just
does
fun.
last.
Yeah, it was a great time.
Just an accepting crowd, huh? That's
Yeah, they were all about it. They were just cool.
so. Do you have any big shows coming up?
We're doing, yeah, I guess like I don't I guess like what I don't know qualifies as big. Like big for
Uh,
me is just
I
like
could use a
festival.
different adjective, I guess, but you got any interesting shows coming up?
Yeah, I know, sorry. Timberfest is Friday. I'm excited about that. It'll be fun. Next week we're doing a festival in like Crossett, Arkansas. And
Nice.
then the week after that, I think we're doing like the Louisiana Art and Folk Festival. And then yeah, I don't know. This will be fun. Like I love the festivals because there's usually a bunch of musicians on the docket. You get to hang out all day and meet people from all over the country and see like what they're kind of all, you know, doing the same thing you're doing, just vagabonding and running
Is
around, playing songs and having a good time, and that's fun.
That does sound fun.
Yeah, it's
So I saw on your, I think I don't remember where I saw it, but you and Zane had hosted a music award show or something. What do you
yeah.
think of that? That seemed really cool.
It was fun. The NELA Music Awards, the Northeast Louisiana Music Awards, and it's like an off-brand CMAs, or like it's a lot of fun. Everybody dresses to the nines, and they have like all of these musicians from like the area, like the surrounding cities come and some perform, and then you see who's nominated, and it's cool because there's honestly thousands of musicians within that region, and so there's a lot of people to pull from, and a lot of people show up, and man, it's a blast. It's so much fun. It's cool seeing your buddies win awards. It's fun winning an award, and it was cool. We had a good time. This was my first year to host it, and that was fun. It was a great time.
How was that kind of shifting to kind of, I'm not exactly sure, like the host, not just a singer. Was that a fun experience for you?
It was. I think like, I love being on stage. I love speaking in public engagements. It's always been something that I love doing. So whether it's singing or performing or just like simply bantering with Zane on a stage and talking and to an audience is just a lot of fun. I have a great time, and it was a fun experience. I'm glad we did it.
Nice. Yeah, that seemed like a lot of fun. So what would you say your main focus in your career is right now?
So right now it's finishing up the album. So that was a big reason why we moved up here because I've recorded in Nashville and in Muscle Shoals these most recent tracks. It's a 15 song album. And
Where is, before you get started on that, where is Muscle Shoals? Is that also in
so that's in
Tennessee?
Alabama. It's in like I want to say northeast Alabama.
I suppose that makes sense because the only thing I know of Muscle Shoals is Sweet Home Alabama.
Yeah,
Muscle,
or the Swampers, like Muscle Shoals. It's got the swamps. Yeah, yeah.
since it's in Alabama, I should have figured that
Yeah,
out.
yeah,
Okay,
and they're cool. They're down there. They're old, but they're down there. Yeah, yeah, they are
better.
now. Yeah,
Oh, awesome. I've
yeah.
been to Alabama a few times. It's pretty. I
Dude, it's
liked it.
cool. It's cool, and like honestly, Muscle Shoals, like I was like so. It wasn't that it was underwhelming. It's just really small. It's not like a whole lot of crazy going on, but it's cool. Like it's such a cool. Everybody down there is like either somebody or played with somebody or written songs for somebody, and but they're so just people, they're just living their lives, quiet lives, and they're playing in the bars down there. Like one of my co-writes who's written, gosh, I think it was like on 9 platinum records, and he
Wow.
works for Fame Publishing. But like we went down there, wrote a few songs with him, and then he went and played like in a local bar down there. It's just what you do. He's like he loves
It
playing. He writes songs. He's just a cool cat that
sounds awesome.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And so it's a cool space. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
I'll put that on the list of places to go to.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to cut you off, but I
No,
remember
not
hearing
at all.
about Muscle Shoals in your
Yeah,
podcast with I was like, I want to ask her about that a little bit.
yeah. You got to
But
go to
your
Fame and all.
album is number one thing right now, and how many songs? Like, let's hear about it.
Yeah.
I
So
was
there's
gonna, yeah,
15
go
songs
ahead.
on this album. I
How
wrote 15.
15? Oh, nice.
Yeah, yeah. And so I wrote most of them with my really good friend Monty Russell. And we just started writing just a little over a year ago. together, and we write all the time. And man, he's like my best buddy. He's this like 70-year-old man, and we just, I don't know, you know, some people you just get along with, and so we've been traveling together for the last year, playing shows in Shoals or in Texas or in Arkansas, and he's a cool cat. He knows a lot of cool people, and we had a lot of other co-writers on particular tracks, but for the most part, I think at least, I think it was 12 or 13 out of 15 I wrote with Monty. Like, he was one of the co-writers on almost all of those songs.
Wow, nice.
It is cool. Like, you find a good writing relationship with someone, and that you're like, man, we can knock out a song in an hour. So you just like we've probably written dozens of songs together now. Like, I mean, at least 50 notebooks full. Like, you know, you're like, you just keep writing. And so,
Material, that's awesome.
yeah.
When can we expect this album to come out? The people are waiting.
I appreciate it. I'm waiting too, but no, soon. We don't have a formal date set yet, but I am looking to get on a month-to-month release basis on each particular song, just because I'm not a well-known artist, and so I think the best way to gain traction is to do one tune at a time. And
Sure.
I'm not 100% on this, but I think the next track is supposed to come out in mid to late October.
Mid to late October, guys. That's great.
You put your
That's exciting.
Troubles on Me by Clara Rae, mid to late October.
What's the name of the song?
It's called Put Your Troubles on Me.
Oh, okay. Okay, that sounds awesome.
It's gonna be fun.
So I just got a couple more questions before but I do want to get to this music here. I got some good questions for you, so I just want to get through some other ones real quick. But other than eating gravel, what do you like to do with your time?
Gravel. Did I say that somewhere?
Yeah, you don't remember?
No.
No, that was from the Psy podcast, I think.
Oh, no, I did. I remember that. Yeah, that was funny. Yeah, no. Someone commented that one time, and I was like, that's hilarious. So every now and then I'll say it. No, I right now there's just not enough hours in the day. I feel like we're pretty much just full steam ahead, music 100% of the time. And I always try to get back home to see Zane as much as I can. But right now I'm pretty much on the road about 5-6 days a week. So
That's pretty much your whole life, huh?
Yeah, but I'm back home at least 1 to 2 nights a week. So like, I've actually been on the road since we moved to Nashville. I've been on the road more than I have been in Nashville, which is cool. Like, I'm really thankful for the work. Like, that's awesome. But I do love being home. I love getting to be home, especially because we just moved. It's fun to set up a house, an apartment, and like make it your own space to do your own creative things. And
being home at your safe spot with your safe person is really,
my dog's here, you know, like where it's
Is that Scouty? Is that the same one that was on?
yeah, my old black lab. She's great. Yeah.
How old is she?
She is 8. And,
okay.
her,
Old girl.
Yeah.
So on your podcast with Psy, I mean, it was fun to listen to. So, but they're from the same city as you? They're from Monroe?
I guess just the city. They're from West Monroe, like the city over that I grew up from, which is the same place, West Monroe, Monroe. They're just divided by the river,
But they're technically their own cities, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like they have their own mayors, but like it's same people, you know? Like,
sure. How was that experience? How was meeting them? And they're kind of legends around where I'm from. Hardly.
Yeah. They're cool, man. They're really down to earth people, very laid back. They're super hospitable. So much fun. I don't know. They're just like you meet people and you're like, man, you guys are my kind of people. And I think you grow up in the same area and you kind of do all the same things. Whether like obviously Psy in particular is significantly older than I am, but it's pretty much the same place to grow up.
Sure.
You know, besides the internet, that's pretty much the only difference. But
are they pretty famous around like where you're from, or what is it like there being from the same city as like those guys?
I honestly didn't realize like how big Duck Commander was until I think it was like 2023, 24 or something like that. And I
Oh
was
wow.
traveling around and I was telling people I was from Monroe, which I am. But I was like, I'm like, oh my gosh, do you know Duck Commander? And I'm like, I can't believe, like, yeah, I know, because it's like, but I just thought it was like, oh, it's a cool thing. They're doing a show. Like, you just don't realize, I guess, like how big it is, like nationwide.
Sure.
They are, because like they're really normal. They're around town. Like you could be at the coffee shop or it could be
Into
at
them,
the
huh?
grocery
Okay.
store. Yeah, and they're like there, and you don't bother them because I didn't personally know any of them, and so it's like you're like, oh yeah, I know who that is. I've seen them before on TV or something like that.
Right.
But I don't know. I didn't realize what a huge impact in the best way they've had on like the
Oh
country
my
as a
goodness.
whole.
They
Because
were. So I mean, so you were how old? You said you're 23.
I'm 23 now. Yeah.
So I feel like when I was like, so I'm 29. I was like maybe
Yeah.
a senior in high school. So back when I was like 17 was probably like the peak of their. So he probably would have just been 10 or 11. So kind of at the end of their highest. But like when I
Yeah.
was in high school, they were huge. I mean,
Yeah. They were like
everybody.
the biggest show on, was it ABC or something for a minute there, is what I found out. Yeah.
Yeah, that and like the Swamp People, the Chewed Elizabeth, that guy,
Yeah. Yeah.
that was crazy. But so you sang some songs for them behind the scenes. I was personally wondering. I mean, and you made a pretty big impact on Cy. He was blown away,
Man, it was
to say the
cool.
least. So what songs did you play for him,
I
or is
played,
that top?
no, yeah, I played, I didn't know that, I didn't think about copyright reasons. But I played Keep the Wolves Away by Uncle Lucius. And it's
Okay,
like one of my all-time favorite songs to hear, let alone play. And so I played him that. And then I played a hymn. I think we did, what did we do? Oh, How Great Thou Art. And so I actually sang that with me, which was cool.
that
So,
is cool.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
The Psychotics or whatever. Yeah, that's his name.
Yeah, Psy, the Psychotics or something like that. Yeah, he's
What a
cool.
character.
And they were so laid back. Like they're easygoing people. They're just living their life.
Yeah, I was just thinking about, I just had a thought and how like impactful like Phil Robertson really was. And, for a
Yeah,
lot of people who are, Christianity really is not something that's pushed on people, especially on TV. And, the
yeah,
Robertson, they really did a great job of that. And forever they're going to hold a place of importance because of that, I think. And I just think
yeah.
it's cool that you got to meet them. And
Oh,
so,
absolutely.
so let's shift over to TikTok. So you got 100,000 followers on TikTok. Congrats. That's
Oh,
pretty incredible.
thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, you've been putting in a lot of work and people love you, but how would you say that kind of happened? We kind of talked about it a little bit beforehand. You
Yeah.
were on Musically before and you had a couple
I used to
viral
make
things,
like
something,
stupid videos with my brothers, like,
right?
and those never went anywhere. I mean, they're posted somewhere. If you scroll way down on my TikTok, you might be able to find some really embarrassing things. But but my mom always got a kick out of it. My grandparents loved that, so we just kept making them. And then Musically kind of lost its touch, and TikTok came on the scene. I guess I don't even know what overlap that was, but I was probably 18 or 19, and I just started posting covers casually, and that's when I started coming up to Nashville because I had one video do pretty well from a gig, and so people started reaching out from here and were like, "We'd love to get you in a meeting," which I was like, "Oh my gosh, it's my big break!" But eventually you learn like there's so many meetings that are totally meaningless, so you don't need to go to. But it's like as a kid, I'm like, "Oh my god, oh they want me," I'm
Finally made it.
yeah, exactly. I already think I'm famous. I've got like 10,000 followers. I'm like, Mom, you don't understand. I'm huge. People know me, and my mom is like all about it. She's like, I'm so proud of you. And so
That's a pretty big milestone still, 10,000.
that was fun. That was fun. It was cool. It was fun to see that, like, you social media is such a thing that it's like you do 1,000 different things and one thing works, and then you
Right.
find that one thing that works for you, and then you just repeat it over and over and over and over and over again. And so and that's kind of like, I had a manager years ago told me, he goes, post every day. It doesn't have to be this, game-changing moment or song, because at the end of the day, it's always something that you think is not going to do well that's going to do the best. And that's so true. Like the ones that you're like, that was not my best work, are the ones that just like blow up. Like they do so well. And that was great advice, because like that really is the reason why I got to where I am, at least social media wise, was just consistently posting things that I probably was like not super proud of at the time. But then going back, I'm like, man, I'm really proud of, the work that I put into that. And I don't know.
That is great advice. I mean, what other advice would you have for posting on social media?
Yeah, I would just make sure you're being consistent is like the best thing. Like that's what, and that I've worked with a couple different like social media gurus, or I don't know what they would go by, but just kind of asking them questions. And like the biggest thing was like just staying consistent, no matter where your views are at, whether they're at like you get a video that's like got millions of views, or you get a video that's got 300 views. Just staying consistent is the best thing you could do, because it shows algorithmically you're someone that's being professional and consistently using the app and promoting the app, and which is what they want to see. They don't really care about your musical career. They care about their app doing well. And that's what's going to boost your content on TikTok. It'll be For You page, or on Instagram it'll be discovery page, or Facebook is the same way. So it's like any social media platform is just like being consistent and putting as much content out there as you can, because as much content as you can put out there consistently, because at the end of the day, that just shows that you're reliable and that you're going to continue to do that. Yeah.
That's great advice. Thank you for that.
Yeah. So I hope it helps. I don't know too.
I hope that people that watch this can kind of see that, and
Yeah.
that's what a lot of people say is just consistency. But was there like a video that kind of changed your, I don't know, TikTok experience, like something you posted that just like kind of took off and really like elevated your TikTok game?
Man, I had one video earlier on. I think it was like the first few months I was like starting to kind of post just like videos of my music and stuff that got a couple million views. But it capped which was great. Like that was crazy. I've never had something get that much attention. And I think it's because if you watch the video, it's pinned to my page, but it's got the like, I'm hitting my guitar like bam, 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 bam. And I'm just doing little talks of monsters and men. So it's like, I'm torn, torn, torn apart. There's nothing we can do. But that beat was really similar to a song that was viral at the time. That was, I think it was called Tiggle Bitties. But it was like, because I was like a 17-year-old girl, and I'm like hitting my guitar at a bar, and they thought I was singing like, drop them out, let me see it, let me take Tiggle Bitties. And so there was probably like 400 comments that were all like, man, I thought this was Tiggle Bitties. Like something like that,
That's hilarious.
And so that was like my virality moment. But honestly, in that, like follower wise, it didn't significantly impact my page all that much. It's the day in, day out of like just constantly posting and showing people that you're like, all right, I'm gonna put a product out every single day. I hope you like it. It's pretty consistently the same product. It's just like most of my page is just like me singing covers or the occasional original or something I liked.
Mostly covers, I feel like. And then the iconic, like, hey, I'm Clara Rae and I'm singing the song.
That's something I found out that worked for me. Like I found that out like 3 or 4 months ago. That was like something.
Like that doesn't work with everybody. I feel like for you, it's just definitely a part of like the video, and people are kind of like, if it's not there, it seems a little bit like, what's going on here?
Yeah. You find your own thing. Like my friend Freddie McClendon is great at this. He does. He goes into it. He goes, you have no idea who I am, but my name's Freddie McClendon, and I'm gonna sing blah blah. This is a totally untrue story about some poor man in North Carolina that, he's got his own thing going that keeps your attention and like grabs you, and it's his thing. Or there's another girl that's like, she's got the like, she goes, "Don't skip," and then she sings it. It's like her own thing. And it starts every video is like that. "Don't skip," and then she sings it, and you're immediately like, "Oh, okay, what's going on here?"
Fine, let me see what you got, right?
Yeah, she throws that hook in there, and so I think everybody finds their own niche hook, and you base your own content off of that, which is cool. Like that's the fun, creative part, is like figuring out what your individual thing is, which is cool.
Yeah, totally. So would you say there's been some opportunities that came through TikTok for you?
Yes, I can't talk too much about all of those, but I some things were like I was scouted for. First, I was scouted for just like a reality TV show, which was called Singers of Tomorrow. And that was with NBC. And I was going to do that with my husband Zane, and so we did months of like interviews and Zoom calls and meetings, and they were like, and it's reality TV is not reality. Like it's just such a fun mess, but it's a good time. It's performative. It's great fun, but it's like not real. It is not the real deal. And so then through that show never aired, and so we ended up I got scouted for Idol, and we did that. That was through my TikToks videos. That was cool because I tried out as a kid and I never got on, and so it was cool that they like, "Hey, you want to try it? Have you ever thought about trying out?" I'm like, "Nah, I'm just never try."
What's American Idol?
Yeah, well, I've never heard of this show.
Who's
No.
she?
Yeah, exactly.
Right. And I got some questions for you for that.
Yeah,
for you too.
yeah, sure.
Let's go to your songs. So you got 4 songs that are out on all streaming services.
Yeah.
They're great.
Oh, thank you.
When we had met, well, so I think the first time I had seen any of your videos was a cover of Jersey Giant. I was like, "Hey, I covered that song," and then
Yeah, you have a great cover of that, by the way. I've seen it multiple times, and I've heard it. You've got it out. Am I right in thinking that?
Yep, that is on all streaming services.
Killer. That's
My
killer.
background with that song is I have a buddy. He's a disc golfer. His name's Broderick, and he's got a pretty good following. He asked me one time because I had posted a cover of it, and he's like, "Hey man, would you come in? Can I come over and record that?" And he puts that at the end of all of his videos. So
Yeah.
he's got people were kind of hitting me up and asking me to cover it, and it's not like my favorite song, but it's a song I like, and I was like, you know what, sure, I'll put it out, and then put it out this summer, and it seems to be my #1 growing song at the moment. So if you like it, go check it out, everybody. But
Yeah, it's good stuff. Go check it out. It's awesome.
yeah, cool song. But your first song, "Stay a Little Longer," that was the first song you put out,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I think I had.
You had out when we had met the first time.
Yeah.
And when we were in Las Vegas, that song was kind of on the rotation. It was on the like songs, and it was all.
Oh, it's cool. Thanks, guys. That's cool.
Little fun memory for our family is hearing that song, and
Oh, that's really cool.
it's a pretty fun kind of country pop song. Is that a song that you wrote?
Yeah, just yeah. It was this funny. So I had recording scheduled down in Austin like 2 weeks in advance, and I'd had a few songs that I wanted to record, but they were like, show up with 5 songs. But I had 3. And so I wrote 2, and that was one of them that I wrote to record. And I wrote it like 3 days before I left for Austin. And I had no money, so I didn't tell my parents, but I stayed in a hostel. I went down to Austin, and because like shared a room with like 30 people, I had my bunk and like my little curtain or whatever. And my cute little pink gun. I'm like laying in bed. I'm like, please don't kill me, like. And,
exhausted the next day.
That was crazy. Yeah, I show up to a studio and you act all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and which is a great, like, honestly, I love that song, and like, I learned so much, like, from the recording process of that. Like, I think you have to record, you have to spend money, you have to, or figure things out to kind of learn about it. Like, it's one of those things, it's like, totally going back, I would have done everything completely differently. But I was so young, I was so new to music and figuring out the recording thing. I just knew that, like, I play live and someone's like, where can I hear you? And I'm like, oh, I don't know, I'm here tomorrow, you can come there. But I had nothing out on streaming platforms, and so I knew it was something that I had to work on, and that was cool. Cool cast down in Austin. That was at the Woodshed. And I don't, you know who Tracy Bird is?
I feel like I've
Old
heard that.
Texas country singer
Oh,
fella.
maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe John Wheeler was talking about that.
Okay,
Uh,
cool.
that's where he's from. He's from Texas.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
It is my last podcast. Anybody watching right now?
It's good.
Okay, so your next song was Folsom Prison Blues
Yeah.
cover. Why'd you pick that song?
It was just something I played live. I kind of had my own version of it, and people really enjoyed it. And I actually play it significantly different live. But when I was, again, in the studio, you're young, you're naive, and they're like telling you, no, 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 let's do it this way. This is how the record does it. We're going to do it this way. And you're like, oh, okay, that's cool, and you just kind of do it the way they tell you to do it. But I think going back, I would have definitely put my foot down and be like, no, this is why I love to play this song, because I have my own version that I love to play, and this is how I've, changed it that makes it unique to me. And I really love that record. I think it's great. I think it was cool. I think what they did was fun and cool. But going back, I definitely would have put more of my own style and inflection on things that they kind of.
You always got more time to do it again.
Yeah, absolutely,
It
absolutely.
is really a cool version as well. So the next song that you got on there is The Best That Could Happen, right?
Yeah,
So the song was co-written.
yeah,
What was that process like for you?
that was
Writing.
cool. That was the first song that I co-wrote that I recorded, which was cool. And I recorded that one in Nashville with my buddy Stephen Ray, and I wrote that with Robin Collins and I believe Shantea, some gal from Canada. She's killing it. And
Okay.
yeah, I don't know. We wrote it together, and Steven was so motivated. He loved the song. He believed in the song. He was like, let's get it recorded. So we recorded like the rough demo at his house, and then recorded it at this really cool studio in Nashville that was like his friend's studio, but it was in his like friend's basement. And it was just, I don't know, but Nashville's like that. Like some of the coolest studios are just like in people's basements or attics, and it was cool. I got my car stuck in the snow. We recorded in December, I think, and I have two-wheel drive truck, and I totally was just like all over the road, just trying to get to the
Is that
studio.
the first time you ever drove in snow?
Uh, it was not, but it was the first time I got stuck in snow, and it was a significant snowstorm they had the night before, and they told everyone to stay home. But I had driven at the time, which felt like a lot because I wasn't traveling so often. So I felt like I'd driven 8 hours up here to record this, and I was like, I can't not record this. I drove all the way up here. I have to drive all the way back down tomorrow. I'm going to the studio today, and they were like, nobody on the roads, only for emergencies. And I was like, this is an emergency. I paid all this
Oh, and
money.
then you ended up going in the ditch, huh?
Yeah,
Okay.
I got a little
That's
stuck. They wrenched me out. It was totally fine. It worked out. We got the song recorded, and it was
that's
fun.
a fun story. That's
Yeah,
definitely a fun story.
good memory. There's a great video somewhere on Steven's page where he's like filming me, and he's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like in my truck. I'm like, "I'm stuck, man. I'm stuck. I don't know what to do." And there's snow everywhere. This is great. It's a good memory. It was a good time.
That sounds like a good memory. So the next song I want to talk to you about is I only saw one version of this song, and it was I think on your TikTok, but it was "She Made It for Me,"
Oh yeah,
and what a pretty song. And I just wanted you to have the opportunity to talk about it and talk about that writing process and kind of who it was written about a little bit.
yeah, yeah. So I went to school right out of high school in Memphis, Tennessee, and I lived with my aunt Donna, and she just let me live with her, no rent. No, I mean, I I offered to pay rent and things like that. Never. She just opened her house and like was totally open arms. She had this like stunning, beautiful home. She was a world traveler, and everything in her house was like collected from her travels. And she had this beautiful garden that was just, I don't know, she was amazing, very faithful, very generous woman. One of the best people I've ever had the pleasure of knowing. And she passed away just like a couple of months ago now. And it was like she passed away. We were in Memphis when she passed. She'd gotten pneumonia in both her lungs, and she was diabetic, so she went into DKA. And so it was hard. It's hard seeing someone you really love and that you really respect and look up to in like a compromising situation like that, like hooked up to everything. It's just like a hard scene to see. And so she passed away, and she's in a much better place than you and I are. I know that for a fact. And my dad and I, we were on a trip like the week that she died, like right after she passed. We were on a family trip. And I was like, I really want to write something for her. I have just so much thinking about, so much content. And my dad's a great writer. He's a great wordsmith. And so we just sat down for like an hour and a half, 2 hours, and we probably wrote like 20 verses to one song. We're like, okay, we have to condense this. We have to take out so much of this. She was such a wonderful person. There was just so much content to write about. And so we, condensed it down, and we sang that, or I sang that at her funeral, which was just like a couple days after that. And that was really special. It's a special song to me. I don't know if I'll record it or not. It's just kind of like something that I wrote for myself and my family, and just kind of like that healing process. Like writing song is so therapeutic, and I feel like you can really flesh out your own thoughts and feelings and emotions through that. Like it's a lot easier to sing your emotions than it is to speak them out loud, I think. And so yeah, that's all that is. It's just kind of a letter to that, and a letter to her, and what a great person she was.
Well, I'm sure she would love it. Well, thanks for sharing that. That's kind of a vulnerable thing, and that's what music is, and that's, that is how we express ourselves and telling our stories through our craft. And you did a great job, and she would love it. And sorry for your loss.
Thank you, brother. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, family is just, it's hard losing people, but it's part of life, and she loved you, obviously. And
It's wonderful. Yeah.
so the next song, go ahead.
No, not at all.
Oh,
She's singing in heaven. She's having a good old time,
right. That's the goal for us, I mean,
Amen. That's it.
the next song I want to talk about is Distract Me Baby, which is kind of your big one right now. And
Yeah.
so it's your latest release. Can you tell me about it a little bit? There was a few different writers for it, or Monty Russell. You wrote that. You kind of talked about it before.
Yeah.
He's your old buddy from Nashville, and now you guys are writing a lot of songs together. Was this the first one you guys had written together?
No, this is just the first one we released from. This is from the album, but it's cool. Monty presented the idea, and I kind of just fleshed it out some with him, and I love it. Like, you pull from your own experiences of like being on the road and traveling, and having someone to go back home to, and just take that load off of your shoulders. And it's just kind of like a fun, I don't want to say not sexy, but sexy song, like for your special person that's like, look, I'm exhausted. You just want one person to distract you, like take away all this crazy from me. I just want to sit here and be with you. And so yeah, Monty and I wrote that. It's the first track on the record that we released. And initially we were supposed to do a month by month release basis, and then life happens. You get on the road and you get busy, and it just doesn't happen. I love that song. I think it's so groovy. It's so me.
It is. It's really a cool song, and like,
thank you.
The song is fun. Like, I got some more questions for you, but like, it's a little different. It's like the big band, so a lot of people only see you kind of with the guitar behind the TikTok, and this had a big band. It had horns. It had Zane playing, I think, the bass, and had some other musicians and like the backup female singers. Like, the music video is super cool.
Thank you.
What was that process like?
Thank you. So ULM's the college, University of Louisiana in Monroe, is the college from my hometown. Okay. And they reached out after Idol and were like, hey, we've got our film studio rolling. We want to get some content made. would you be open to doing a video? And I was like, yeah. And
That's
so I pitched the song and I wrote this super cool, like elaborate screenplay. It took me like 2 weeks and I was super proud of it. But then our budget was cut because due to some school funding issue. So we had to like downsize significantly. But I also wrote the screenplay for the one that we did film. And I'm really
sweet.
proud of that.
Good
Yeah.
job.
And I just got like a bunch of my local buddy musicians and I was like, come here, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do a music video. It's gonna be great. And, we just threw it together, like almost like the day of, like, because it was just one of those things you just grab your friends. You're like, all right, we're filming it. We're gonna do it, and it's gonna be fun. And it was a
It
blast.
seems really fun. The video was really cool. I saw your grandpa was in it. That's awesome.
Yeah, like cool. He's the best, man. He had like knee surgery.
Trumpet, is that what he was doing?
Yeah, he plays trumpet. Yeah.
Okay.
He also plays piano and guitar really, really well, but trumpet is his first instrument.
And that's the grandpa that would assign you
Yeah.
homework when you were a kid?
Yeah. He's cool, man. He's so cool. And he's the best. Oh,
Nice.
Rob.
That's really awesome. I mean, it's already got 120,000 plus views, so that's really exciting.
Thank you. I like that. That was cool. That's always
Yeah.
fun. It's always
It
fun
was-
to like work your ass off on something and then like see it come to fruition and you're like, yes, okay, sweet. All right, I can still do this. Like that's always like encouraging.
And from like a viewer standpoint, like it's great, and you did a good job. And the
Thank-
video's really cool. The production's awesome, and the song. So that was done in Nashville. Like, who's doing all of the backup vocals and who's doing all that stuff?
Okay, so it just always depends on like this particular record has, do you know the McCrary sisters? They're Americana, soulful singing ladies, really cool gals. They sang on a lot of like Bob Dylan stuff. And they just were inducted into the Americana, I think it was Hall of Fame.
Oh, so they're a little bit older or what?
Yeah, they're a good bit older and lovely ladies. They were so cool. I was actually filming for Idol at the time, and they went to Nashville to track out the backup vocals. And they said, we're going to pass it through a few times. I was like, all right, ladies, thank y'all. They were calling me, and it was cool. And so they did that. Then we had the Shiny Ribs horn section, which is down. Those fellas are from Austin, Texas, and they sent in tracks. Like we asked them to make a few tracks for it, and they sent in tracks. And they're incredible, man. They like first time around, like the first tracks we got back, I was like, absolutely, those are killer. Those sound incredible.
It
And
did sound great. That must have been
that's all them. I was lucky. I was like, I kind of hear this, and it was so vague and inconspicuous, and they read your mind over a
They-
phone call. Like they get
they're
it.
professionals. I mean, those horn players, they're good.
Yeah, and
That's
Monty
what
Russell
full time.
produced, and it was cool. So it was really sick. We recorded it at James Cook's studio in, I think he's up in Pigeon Forge area. I could be mistaken, but
That's in Tennessee, Nashville area still.
yeah, I think so. He's like 40 minutes from downtown Nashville, so if that makes
Okay.
sense.
I've
Somewhere,
only driven through Nashville, I think, twice. I've driven through. I think I checked out the museum once, but I've been very long down there. Definitely don't know it that well. Not
Yeah.
yet.
it's
You'll know
cool.
back of your hand.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, so let's get on to American Idol. All right.
Okay, cool.
So the interview. So you told us today that they scouted you and they came out and they did an interview at your place. So what was that like?
So in the initial like scouting situation was just like through an A&R scouting rep or it's funny the lingo they use. It's like I'm a producer at American Idol. Really, they're just like a scout. They're like they're scouting talent, and that was like through DMs. And I did interviews with. You do like lower end producers, and then you do like executive producer interviews. And I initially was told no. And then I got scouted again from a separate scouting producer, casting producer. And I was like, I mean, if you want to. And they were like, have you ever thought about auditioning for Idol? And I'd literally already auditioned that year. I was like, never crossed my mind. So I did it. I got told
Gotcha.
no again. Yeah, I got to the executive producer, and she was like, Clara, how's it going? She like remembered my name, and I was like, it's going great, Miss Megan. How are you? She goes, what you got for us today? And I played her a song, and they sent me an email a few weeks later. Hey, it's just not your year, no worries. And then I got scouted again by a different casting producer, and I was like, whatever, I'll try it. So I tried it, and I was a lot more lax. I don't know, I didn't try to prepare anything. I just did songs that I knew. Like initially, all of them, I was like, I need to learn new things, something that's going to be grand and have a crazy vocal riff and guitar part. But this one, I was like, I'm just going to do what I know, stick with what I know. So I got into the Zoom interview, and I do exactly what I do, like what I would do live. And they were like, we want to invite you to audition for the, judges in Nashville. I was like, absolutely. I definitely cried. That's some video out there. I'm crying on Zoom, and I called Zane through my phone, but it was connected to my computer, and they wanted to film that part, like me calling Zane and being like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be on TV. And, but apparently the computer was connected to my phone, so it cut off their thing, and I'm just talking to Zane, and they're like black on the screen. They're like, Clara, fix your screen. We want to get this on camera. And I was like, oh, I don't know how to do that. And so there's like, because I'm not tech savvy at all. And so yeah, that was cool. I went to the audition. It went swimmingly. I met so many cool people, and in a lot of my interviews.
So they had came and they had done like a interview, and like how long before your audition was that, or was it after?
So this was all of these like Zoom interviews were prior to the audition. I do my audition, and you do so many interviews at your audition. Like it's a few days. It's like 3 or 4 days.
So I'm talking about like before, like there's a video of like your audition on where they came to Monroe.
Yeah,
and
that's after the audition process.
Okay.
But they ask questions like, okay, this is before your audition. Pretend it's before your audition. You're like, okay, that was like 4 months ago.
Sure.
So, like, what would it mean to you to be getting on American Idol? I'm like, man, that'd be so cool. I would love. Like, I already was on the show. I was like,
you already got the
incredible.
That's kind of funny. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
So
it was great. It was so much fun.
So you went in, you did the audition with the 3 judges.
Yeah.
Did you have to like I remember back in the day, American Idol, like if you wanted to audition, there was like a line, that you had to wait for like 2 days. Like, was that kind of what you had to do? Did you have to wait in a big long line, or did they red carpet you right up to the room?
No, they don't do those anymore, thankfully. They just do, it's like almost all over Zoom. And then like through that, they decide who's going to audition for the judges. And so that was nice because like, I don't know, that just seems like and they still do those big open calls, but it's all over Zoom. It's not in person.
That's great. Oh, I bet that would be terrible. You remember when back in the day, there'd be like lines that were city block.
Screaming, and there's like people that are so terrible in the best way, because like you watch it and you're like, that's hilarious, it's totally.
So they kind of got the people that they want for the season a little bit. That's pretty cool. So that you should feel pretty proud of yourself, because they wanted you there.
Thank
2
you.
different crowd gauge game, and it must have been a really fun experience. How did you feel right before you went in and auditioned for the 3 judges?
So I felt great. I felt super excited. I was like, it was something I'd always wanted to do since I was like a little girl. I was pumped to do it. And then like as soon as like Ryan Seacrest like opens the door and they all get out of the way and I walk in, like I remember I could feel like my stomach up in my chest. My throat was so dry, and I walk in there and like my voice is like, I can hear how dry my voice is. I was like, hi, I was like an octave higher than my speaking voice. And they were like, how are you? I'm like, I'm great. And
it was great 10 seconds ago.
Yeah, and there's a video. Yeah, I was feeling great. I really was. And every interview I was like, they're like, are you nervous? I'm like, no, I'm so excited. And then I got in there and there's like a video and my legs are like shaking back and forth. It's just like my knees are knocking together and I'm sitting there literally like shaking. So I was super nervous. Yeah.
Was there a judge you were more excited to meet?
Yeah, I'm a huge Lionel Richie fan. I'm a huge Commodores fan, and I was super excited to meet him. I mean, obviously, Carrie Underwood, Luke Bryan, like, they're awesome, and I listened to them growing up. But, like, the Commodores I was so excited to meet Lionel. And they were all cool, like, really, really, really cool people. And super nice, super down to earth. Like, I don't know what I was nervous about. They're just people. and they're just people that are really successful in the field that I want to be really successful in. And so really you can glean so much from them. They just have so much wisdom about the industry and what they're doing, and they were really cool and receptive to that. And yeah, they're cool people. I really liked it.
I bet. Yeah, that's definitely really cool. So you chose Radioactive for your song. Why was that the song you chose? Just that was
So
it. That's your
there's
best
so
song.
much like behind the scenes going into like what you choose, because like you can only sing this, so like they only have the rights to certain songs. You can only
Oh,
sing what they legally like. I mean, you could choose, you have to choose, but like I think I had like 12 songs, and they were like, no, we can't sing those. We don't have the rights to those. Like, or
dang.
like Tyler Childers doesn't allow any of his songs to be
I
sung
believe
on
it.
air. It's like a rule he has. And so initially I was going to sing an original, but Radioactive is the one that I played in my Zoom interview for the executive producer. And that's what got me on the show. That's what
Sure.
she loved. And she goes, it got you here, so I want you to play it tomorrow for the judges. And I was like, okay. Because like you do days of interviews prior to your audition, but it's like filmed in the sense that it's like you show up and you audition, but it's like
Sure.
you have to do all these interviews and stuff. And they always
A
ask
lot
you,
of behind the scenes stuff, I'd
yeah,
imagine. Dang.
and you don't even know what you're singing until like the day before, like I think it was like 9 p.m. and my audition was at like, I had to be up at 7 and my audition was at like 10. And so it was like I knew what I was singing at 9 p.m. and I was like, okay, great. Then we jump in and
And
you know,
you said 10 p.m. was when you went and auditioned?
no, 10 a.m. So
Oh,
we wrapped like they do rehearsals, which is just you sing the song like you would audition. And
sure.
they're like, okay, that's great. Thanks. We'll see you tomorrow. Which I felt nervous about because I was like the last person to do rehearsals, and all of everybody's rehearsals were taking like 45 minutes to an hour. And mine was like 3 minutes. I walked in, hey guys, so nice to see y'all in person. My name is Clara Rae. I'm going to sing these songs. And I sang Radioactive. And she goes, great, thanks, next. And I was like, they're going to
They
sing it
want
tomorrow.
they
They
knew
don't
you
want me on the show.
they already were probably knew you were gonna go through it.
Well, like looking back now, I was like, oh, that was a good thing. But in my head at the time, I was like, man, they didn't critique me. They didn't want it to get any better. Like they just were like, this is a lost cause. Like I went home, like,
Right, huh?
yeah, I went to my hotel that night like totally defeated. I was like, I'm just,
Oh, sad.
you know, I was
Yeah.
so just exhausted. And it's like you start filming at like 7 a.m. till 9 p.m. just on the audition front. Like the actual show itself is like 14-hour film days, and it was just insane. Like, no, one day it was like, what was it? It was like call time was like 5 a.m. You had to be totally dolled up and ready to be on TV. And then we get there and we don't eat. And we filmed until 4 p.m. We had a 30-minute lunch break and they brought us lunch. And we ate lunch and then we were there until 10:45 that night. And we had call time was at like 5:30, 5:45 the next morning. And you were like,
American Idol with the slave labor, huh?
dude, it was
Dang.
crazy. Yeah, it was crazy work, which is so much fun. Like it's so much fun to be on and be a part of. But like you do have to be like on. Like there's no off or downtime. You're always being filmed. And even the like rooms where you're not being filmed, you're being filmed. Like there are cameras everywhere. And it's like, I mean, like your bedroom is safe. Like you're cool there, but like, yeah, all the other things are like, you're in the common area, just know you're being filmed. And sometimes you're mic'd up. Sometimes they'll mic you up and you'll forget. And you'll be talking to someone. You're like, don't say anything cancelable because we're totally mic'd up right now, you know?
Right.
So,
So in your original interview, when Luke Bryan asked you to not use your guitar, how did you feel? Like, was that a scary thought kind of, or what?
yeah. So I don't even know if they edited this in. I think he just said stop. And I was
Yep.
like playing my song. I don't even think he said stop playing your guitar. I think he just said stop. And I was just praying that he said guitar. So I just kept singing. I think it was like I was so nervous and I was like, okay. So
He
I
asked you
kept
to try
going.
with the guitar, if I
Yeah.
remember. He's
Yeah.
like,
So in the actual like, but I think it was edited. I don't think that's actually
oh,
what
really?
happened. I think he just said stop. And I was like, just kept singing because I was like, I hope he means just like, because I knew I was playing hard because I was so nervous. Like you could feel it. You could feel when
Sure.
you're doing
You're
something you're
banging a little too hard, huh?
yeah, yeah. He was so cool about it too. I finished. He goes because afterwards, I think he was like, "Oh, I'm glad you kept singing." Like, I was going to ask you to stop playing guitar, but I just kind of wanted to pull that to a halt. You played it a little too loud, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I was nervous." It's,
Well, that
uh,
was him to care enough, That was really cool.
yeah, yeah.
So, so after the audition, you kind of talked what that was like. So how long was the shooting process after like the first audition of you going and getting your golden ticket?
So I get the golden ticket, and we filmed probably like 5 or 6 more hours that day. And then like a week later, they reached out and they were like, "Hey, we want to do a home story on you." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, this is incredible! My dreams are coming true," or whatever. And so we dolled up our house, like we like totally cleaned up the whole property, and they came out there and did filmed for a day. It was just a 24-hour, well, not even. It was probably like a 15-hour period. Like they got in at like 8 a.m. and they left around midnight, and we just filmed all day, all over my hometown, all over at my house, and then we had a month and like a week before Hollywood, before they flew us out to Hollywood, and
Okay, so then you fly out to Hollywood, and how long were you there for? Up until the final, up to the 24
so
people.
I flew out to Hollywood. I think it was like mid-January, and I got back early. I think it was like 2.5 weeks I was in Hollywood or LA, which they do put me up, but they don't put your spouse up or anybody that comes with you. So by the time I'd gotten off the show, I think I did 3 performances in Hollywood.
Right, yeah. So we got to see the last one, but we
Yeah.
didn't get to see the other two. So what were those songs?
I did I'm Not the Only One by Sam Smith for my arena round, which is where they're like it's acoustic and people are standing around you. And I did that one. And then for my showstoppers round, I did Wake Me Up by,
Avicii?
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it was cool. It was fun. I love that song. I play it all the time, and it worked. I moved on. That was cool, but it never aired. You really have to get like the top 24 to get everything to air, and which
Sure.
it was honestly, looking back, it was so great. Like I just gained so much from it, and like the people there, I'm still really, really good friends with a lot of the people that were on this season because I met them like right around this time last year. So it's just really cool that we're all still in touch and staying friends and kind of doing our own thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and hopefully you guys can grow, and as y'all grow get a little bit bigger, y'all can kind of meet up and have some reunions or something. And then your
Yeah.
last performance, so that was with a guy named John, was it John Foster?
Yeah. 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 John Foster, he's from Baton Rouge. Well, he's from Addis, Louisiana.
Was it John or was it Joel? What was it?
John, it's John Foster. Yeah. Yeah.
And he was from Louisiana as well, so they kind of put y'all southern
Yeah. That was
together.
our idea. Yeah. They did let us actually choose our partners, which was
Oh,
cool.
okay. Oh, so you guys chose to be partners.
Yeah. Yeah. He was my buddy. I met him at auditions. And I'm sure, I don't know how Minnesota is like this, but like if you're from Louisiana and you're not in Louisiana, you find other people that are from Louisiana. Like it's
Sure.
just like you kind of find they're loud. His whole family was there. My whole family was there. They brought boudin, which is it's like jambalaya in a sausage link. It's delicious. Very Louisiana food, and they brought some for the judges. Which I saw that and I was like, damn, I should have brought. That was so smart. I should have
That's
brought.
why he hit that top
He got
24.
second. Like he ended up getting second in the whole.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah,
Awesome.
he's killing it too. He's on the Opry Next page right now, which like he's playing there pretty much like every other weekend. Like he's
Cool.
killing it. Yeah, I'm real proud of him. He's a good friend of mine. He's so wholesome. His family is great. Like they're good people. He's the right person to be where he's at. Like he's a cool guy. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So what was the biggest take out from American Idol for you?
For me personally, I think it was like confidence. It was so much. It was so nice to hear like someone other than your mom say you're pretty good. Like
Right.
they were super
Some accomplished people, recognize
Yeah, people that
right.
work in the field you want to work in. They're like, hey, you have something unique and special. You're like, oh, stop. Like this is great. So it was nice. Like that was really, I guess, reassuring that like I'm probably doing the right thing. I'm working on the right path for my life in particular. And so, yeah, I think confidence was like, it was a huge confidence boost to say the least. And like,
I bet.
that you just
Did
have
you
to
get to spend much time with the judges?
know. I mean, somewhat, like, but it was not a whole lot of like one-on-ones. We got to spend a good bit of time with them, obviously, in the audition process. And then when we were singing, you would talk to them directly. Or when they were judging us, we would talk with them directly. But apart from that, it would only be like in passing. And
Sure.
they have big responsibilities on the show, so they have like I think we really got to spend the most time with Jelly Roll. He was on there, and he's so cool. He was a lot of fun. So we got to, but he wasn't judging. He was just mentoring. I think was his.
He was a nice guy, huh?
So nice, so nice, so wholesome, so cool. Like he was just a great. He was just a buddy. Like it's like 3 in the morning and you're in LA, you're in the bottom of this like beautiful hotel, and you're practicing a song you've never heard before with a person you've never sang with before, and your voices do not go together, and you're like hilarious and you're laughing, everything's hilarious. And then like Jelly Roll walks in and he's like, Clara, John, how's it going? And for me personally, I just like bust out laughing because I'm like, what the hell is my life? It's just so random. Like this is just I'm in the nicest
You have
hotel.
a TV show all of a sudden, Jelly
Yeah,
Roll gets featured, right?
that's crazy. Yeah. And he was like, now do you know what you need to do? And I'm like, no. Just like laughing. It was hilarious. It was very surreal, I think. Like just crazy.
That
Crazy.
does sound
Yeah.
like an awesome experience, and
Yeah.
I'm happy for you that you got to do it.
Thanks,
Us and
man.
the whole world, we're expecting big things out of you, and we're all cheering for you. And I hope that you can stay true to your character and just
Thank you.
keep doing what you do. And being a Christian in today's society is not really an easy thing, and that's the way it's always been, and it's the way it will always be. And I hope that you can stay true to that. And people are just proud to see someone work hard and a real American story who comes from something like small town Louisiana to following their dreams. So we're all cheering for you, and everyone is wondering what is next for you. There's the album, and then performances, and what's where somebody who's just watching this video and they think, where should I start with Clara Rae? How can I get to know her? Where would you like them to go to?
Oh man. Well, if you just want to see where I'm playing live, I have a website. It's clararaymusic.com, and it has most of my upcoming dates on there, but someone hasn't updated it, and that would be me. I have not updated it yet. Getting to that, there's not enough hours in the day, but yeah, that's a good place to start, I guess. And social pages, it's Clara Rae, like it is Clara Rae, and streaming platforms. I've got new music coming out very soon, and hopefully, Lord willing, we jump on somebody's tour in the spring. That is the goal. And
Oh, nice. Hopefully you can come up to Minnesota,
hey, man, that'd be cool. That'd be cool.
and
Yeah,
then
we
we can show you what the Minnesota food scene's like. How
all
about
right.
that?
What kind of food is like up in Minnesota? What's the go-to?
Well, a lot of people will always say hot dishes, but a lot of people that's not as much anymore. Like we eat a lot. We eat a little bit of everything. Minnesota has so many different communities and cultures of people. A big Hispanic culture. I mean, a lot of
Yeah,
white heritage. So the Twin Cities got everything. We got Midwest really has it's just everything kind of pushed into
yeah.
and the cities and I come from rural Minnesota where it's pretty small town where it's not like there's no Uber Eats, there's none of that really. But once you get a little bit more towards the Twin Cities, there's a lot more of like the suburban life, and they got everything. But we eat a lot. we eat a lot of meats, a lot of meat-based foods, and like you can make anything with your steak and your chickens, but there's good food everywhere and cool venues in the cities. So if you ever make it out this way, there's some really cool venues. First Ave, like there's like the smaller. Like First Ave is one of the biggest ones, like the Palace, a lot of other cool places. You'll probably be playing at someday, I bet. But we also have huge areas like arenas and what is US Bank Stadium is really phenomenal. Like that's an incredible place.
Yeah.
But Clara, what's the last thing you got to say for anybody listening, for all your fans? What's your send off? Why don't you give us a little goodbye?
Just work hard, love people around you, put God first. It's
Amen.
I don't know. That's just the best way to live your life. It's your life at the end of the day. So you're always going to do what you want to do, and just make sure that you want to do the right thing. And yeah.
Totally. All right. Well, thanks for stopping by. Great talk. I know I said it was gonna be shorter, but it kind of went pretty long, didn't it?
It's probably my fault. I'm such a chatty Cathy. I just can sit and chat.
There's a lot that goes into life and your experiences, and I hope people are gonna love to hear what you got to say, Clara.
Well, thank you, brother. I really appreciate you taking the time and putting me on this morning. It means a whole lot to me. So thank you, man.
Yeah. Okay. Well, bye everyone. Say bye, Clara.
Guys, thank y'all for coming.